Hello guys, Code W. If you follow me since a while, you know that already. The reason that I'm making this video is because I wanted to do it since a while now, and I feel like I should do it. I'm blinding myself, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Wait a minute, hold up. Oh no, it's kinda a little better. I'm still fucking blind, but the reason I'm making this video is because I released an album called You, Project You. The whole era is called Project You, and the album itself is called simply You. So the reason I'm making this video is to explain a little bit about the album, to have a little concept behind it, and also I want to talk about my month so far, my summer, and what's gonna happen in the future, like what I'm planning to do in the future, not just about Project You itself, but about my whole career. So firstly, Project You is an album about a breakup, about me having a relationship with someone and losing her, and how I dealt with it, how I got through it, what I felt while having this whole era of me like being broken. And the whole album is built up chronologically, so the intro is like an intro, like the intro shows a concept for the whole album, and if you check in the songs from the first track to the last one, it shows my mental state, about how I feel about the whole situation, about breakup, how my mental goes, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I have to choose, I have to say eras for the album, we can split it up to 3 eras. First era, I will call it the downfall. That part of the album is about why the fuck my lights are... Is it flickering or I'm just fucking blind? I don't even fucking care anyway, it's gonna add a little aesthetic to the video. It's from times when me and the girl who the album is about are still together, but I already felt what's gonna come, what will happen to us. First track was made in like August of 2024, like at the end of the summer, if I remember right. The last track was made from the whole album like 4 or 5 weeks before dropping Project You, so it's like really fresh. That's what I'm talking about when I say that chronologically how my mental state goes, because I made those songs in that date, what the song is about. So the downfall is the intro, Fear You, Lone Part 1, and Be Yours Forever, or Yours Forever. Originally it was called I Wanna Be Yours Forever, but I just felt like I should just make it like shorter in terms, you know what I'm saying? These 4 songs is the downfall. This is like the longest era because I didn't know how to like make myself feel better, and I wanted to like express myself somehow, because I don't know, I'm a little bit nonchalant, just a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it to my girl. Like I feel like something's about to happen, something isn't right, something isn't how it used to be. So yeah, I'm gonna tell the eras and shit, what to know about it. After that I will go through in the songs by track. One more thing to know about the eras itself is that every era is a little bit different than the other one, because I tried to make the album sound like how I felt, not just in my vocals, but in the beat and the instrumental and other stuff itself. So the first era is like more mainstream, like sad rage beats, you know what I'm saying, like what this solo does. If you look at, I don't know, Fear You, Love Part 1, or Yours Forever, and after that you take a look at the other eras, it's completely different, and the beat itself gives so much to the song. Even like, I know my vocals are and my lyrics are good in my opinion for this album, because it's me, it's how I feel. I worked so much with this shit, but if the beat wouldn't be the beat what it is, it would be just, it wouldn't be as hard, and it wouldn't be as expressive as it is. So shout out to all the producers. So yeah, the first era was like more, I don't know, it was calm, and it was like a little bit happiness in it. Even if the lyrics was sad, it had a little hope in it. And if you check the lyrics, there are some parts where I say, like in Fear You, I say, let me feel some hope, and other stuff. So this was the first era. The second era, I would call it the breakup. Those songs were made when I broke up with the girl who it is about, and after that for like 2 months. Meadow, the first song, was made in November. It was made in the same day when we broke up. The next track, What's Mine, is like 2 or 3 weeks later. It's a 3 songs long era. I wanted to make the breakup section a little bit like sad, of course. I wanted to make it sad, but also by all of that, I wanted to make it a little bit like dark, and not just in like, I don't know, I'm making dark trap. I wanted to give it like melancholic and more when you have the feeling of hating someone because the disappointment it gave you, the person. I wanted to put it into the tracks, and I think that this era shows my feelings the best in production and beats and and everything else. So yeah, this was the second era, the breakup, and the third era is like after the breakup, after like I started to get through the whole shit. I would call it regret, and by the word regret, I don't mean that I regretted the whole relationship or I regretted that I met the girl who the album is about, but more likely I regretted that in the first era, firstly, didn't talk about it for nobody. I was just like, that was just in me. I didn't say that to anyone. I feel like something is about to happen, something's wrong. Secondly, the regret is like, I regretted that I behaved the way I behaved in the breakup era. If you check out the lyrics for the songs, don't actually show that, but actually show that I'm still broken. Yes, I'm still broken, but I know what I did. I realized it. I realized how I behaved because I was sick. I was fucking crazy, and not in a good way, in a bad way. I was crying. I was using drugs. I don't know, smoked too much, drank too much energy drinks. My heart is, since that, is racing for real. So I fucked up everything, and I just did that part of the album is like not about that how I realized that what I'm doing is bad, but about how I grew out of the breakup era. And the first song from the era is Lone Part 2, that is like made January or February or something like that. The last track, That Inside, was made 5 weeks ago. But this is it about eras. I'm gonna talk about the songs separately, like some backstory for it, like to understand what it is about. Even if you listen to it, I think you will understand like what the song is about, but I think that you can understand it more if I tell you what it is about for me, because this is like the first album where I'm like expressing myself not just in metaphors, but also in like real words, like what is happening to me. Not just like, I don't know, the way I'm expressing myself in Pit Deluxe is like in dark metaphors, talking about my consciousness, how I'm feeling like. But in this album, I talked about my real problems in like real words. Like if I say that, not all the times, of course, but most of the time. So when I say that, I don't know, in meadow, I said that I'm standing as my heart skipping pumps for minutes. Or when I say that, yeah, my heart is a mess since you're gone, I am OTC, my lungs, that's real. And I never did it before, and this is why this album is more open to the whole industry. I don't think that it's gonna blow up, to be honest. Even if it will blow up, the reason why I made this album wasn't that to blow it up. The reason for this album was firstly to let go of it. Secondly, the date when I released this album, July 19th, is the birthday of the girl. When we were together, I always wanted to make an album about her, and I made an album about her. It wasn't just like how I wanted it to be, but I think it's better right now, in my opinion. If we were together and I made this album, it wasn't as good as right now, in my opinion, because it's like really like close to me, to be honest. And I hope that people who listen to it, even if it will not blow up, but the people who listen to it can feel it, and my songs can help them getting through something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna change my lights again because I still feel like it's not the best. Yeah, so I'm blind again. I can't even cover it up because it's getting like harder when I'm doing it up like this. Is it good? It's still fucking blinding me off. Man, fuck these lights, man, for real. Okay, wait a minute, I can't see shit. So yeah, this is what you is about. Like as a project, I can talk about the cover art also. The reason why this whole era of Project U was purple and not blue, fuck blue, is because her favorite color was not purple, but every time I was with her, it was purple. Man, I can't even change my lights, so it was purple, like something like this. It was a little bit darker, something like what you can see in the cover art. In the cover art, there are two people, like There is this guy right here, and there is this guy right here. This guy is me just looking like that. You can realize that it's me because it has some blue in it while having this purple type of stuff. The reason why it's blue and purple is that I feel like I got something from her about my life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a better person because of what self-confidence she gave me in 1.5 years. That is I know that it's not too much if you think about it, but for me it was, because that is still my longest relationship. This guy right here, that's her. I know she doesn't like look like that. She's like looking at me from up above, like I can't even reach her. And if you look at this guy right here, me, I'm looking at the darkness, the blackness, and she looks at me from up above, like I saying it in my poetry in the intro. You can see some references to it. My lights are still fucking off, but you know what? I'm gonna try this again, like this, yeah. I don't give a fuck anymore. So yeah, that's it about the cover art. For me, every time when I'm doing an album, I have a really addictive relationship with cover art. Every time I release an album, a single, something like that, even if you look at Pit Deluxe or Pit, or I don't know, and it's up cover art, you can see something, not just being different, relating to the song, because I'm using music as an art, not just like making music and shit. I wanna do a whole complete artistical self. I wanna show it all to you in my lyrics, in my rollouts, in my videos, in my cover art, and in my songs. You get a full experience of what my artistical self is. And yeah, that's all about the cover art. And now I'm gonna talk about the tracks like separately. Firstly, the intro. The intro is a poem I made back in the days. I think I made the intro after the breakup, but before What's Mine. So it's like, I don't know, 1 or 2 days or like a week after Meadow made. So it's a little bit not chronological, but I made it chronological because like the end of it, like where I'm saying I'm going deeper and deeper, my mind is falling into pieces, that is made before everything. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a more than 1 year old board that I had in my notebook, in my phone. And yeah, I was like, let's just edit that, because it's like there's a whole construction. I'm learning poetry since years now, and because I live in Hungary, I made Hungarian poets, and this poetry right here is Hungarian. I just translated it with all my abilities to English. I don't say that it's perfect, because even if there are some rhymes in it, and even if like most of the poetries, I mean, what I learned in Hungarian or even English, I learned some English ones and some French ones too, and some Italian ones, but most of them doesn't actually has that amount of rhymes as a song. So it's like not in every line, but I know that it doesn't really have rhymes, but I feel like it's a really good intro for an album like this, because it's like not explicit. It gives you a whole vision of what the fuck is this whole project about, what I'm talking about since a while. Because if you look at my Instagram, I'm just spamming project you, July 19, a little bit like Easter egg about the intro. If you look at the construction of it, if you look at the first verse where I'm talking about I'm the deepest pit, and if you look at the first verse where I'm talking about my ex-girlfriend, if you like match these together, that is a whole verse together. And if and you do this, the same thing with all of them, they are matching perfectly with like the second about me and the second about her is matching together. And also there is like a little interlude before going into her, like what was her and what is her. And also the like last part where I'm in my deep voice saying I'm going deeper and deeper, my voice so into spaces, that is called song in Hungarian. I don't know if it's called like that in English. I never actually used that shit before, and I never had any kind of like situation where I had to use it. I can break it down, like how to break down a poem, but I don't think that that's my work to do. Also, for anyone who wanna have it Hungarian, DM me on Instagram. I wanted to like upload it as like a drive file back in the days. I think I will, by the way. But yeah, this is the intro. I made the ambience behind it. I made the drums. That's like completely me. I made the whole shit. And by the way, if you check the ambience, when I'm talking about me, it's in a really high pitch. When I had the interlude, it's like a little bit lower. And when I'm talking about what you were, it's in a really deep pitch. Like it's, I don't know, like minus 10% down from the original. So it's like really deep. So you can feel like the strength of what I'm talking about, going lower and lower and lower. And at the end of it, the last part where I'm, you know, rapping in my deep voice, that's in the same key as Feel You. So it's like, I don't know, not really transitioning together, but you can feel the vibe of what's gonna come. And that was like the reason why it's in the same key, to have the vibe of what is gonna come. Also, there's a little tag in the whole album, what like happens in every song, and it's like I'm saying in my dark voice, you. That's like an Easter egg in every song, but it's really catchy if you hear it and like catching the flow. My favorites are No One Else, What's Mine, and Black Leaves. And also I like Meadow. I don't know, these songs where I placed the you, they are just perfect in my opinion. And also in the first song, when I say you, that is like matches up with the things that I'm saying before, because like the last thing that I'm saying is that because who gave my power left me, who gave my power, you, and the ad-lib, you. So yeah, this is the intro. I know that not many people will listen to it as like, fuck yeah, this is a really great song. Nah, it's not about that. It's about like a little bit salt, you know, just a little bit seasoning of what is gonna come. A little bit like, I don't know, showing you my artistical self, because I have many side projects and doing so many things. So it was like a proof that I can do this shit. Also the fact that I can share private and pointed out stuff, not just in metaphors, but in like, this is for you and this is what I'm gonna talk about, and I say it with my chest, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this was the intro. So just because you all can see that, how much I'm fucking with this slide. And this is like a fucking lamp that you can put in your like table and shit, and it's not for this type of thing, like I'm doing video with it, that's why it's blinding me. So it's a little promotion. If you want to help me out to have a fucking normal lamp, the fucking normal camera, because this shit is like worst quality ever existing, and it's a fucking Samsung. So if you want to help me out about that shit, I have a link tree where you can find all my platforms and shit. And there's a little part where I say buy me a coffee, and you can help me out with like £2 to £5 or some shit. So yeah, help me out to collecting to a lamp. So yeah, after this hour, I'm gonna talk about the first track ever made for Project U, and it's called Fear You. Firstly, when I found this beat, I was like, let's just save it for later, because whenever I will have a project with such stuff, this is gonna be fucking mad. This is crazy. The whole beat is crazy. So yeah, shout out Dana and Clean Lords for making the beat. So basically, Fear You was made the first time I felt like something is not right. Most of the times when I made these songs, I wasn't made them in that day, but I wrote the lyrics and not just found the beat, but used the beat to write the lyrics to in that day. So I don't know when it's recorded, it's on my PC. I don't actually want to check it out, because who the fuck cares about it. But Fear You was made in that day, but I first realized that something isn't right. Also, if you look at the lyrics, I'm talking about that. Why are these girls like me? Don't know who I want me now. And also, I'm saying it, billions girls could like me, money but none of them, you know. I'm saying that because in that time period, I had so much DMs because I was doing TikTok lives, and also had performances and met so many people, even girls who were like DMing me and wanted to like talk, and not just talk, but some of them were in love with me. And I'm not saying it because my ego, but because that I know that they were in love with me, because they literally told me that. And in that time period, there were like so many girls who wanted to be with me, but I saw that she's like doesn't want it. And also I talking about like contacting my girl in some ways, like kissing her and I don't know, hugging her. We still did these things, of course, but I felt like it wasn't as filled with love as before. Yeah, basically we were standing on a bridge in Budapest, and she was like looking at the Duna, and I was like, okay, we just stopped because we were in an abandoned place, and she was staring at that place in the sunset for like, I don't know, 45 minutes or some shit, and she was just staring at that. And at that time I didn't know why she did that. When I hugged her, she ain't even reacted. So I was like, what is happening? Like, let's just go, you know what I'm saying? And she wasn't answering. I was like, I love you, and she wasn't answering. And I didn't want to like interrupt her, so I was like just sitting there and watching TikToks and shit, doing my shit. But while all of that, I was like, something isn't wrong. And after that I realized, after this whole era, when we broke up and shit, she told me that something wasn't right in her since summer, and she ain't told me shit about that. So I think that when we standed there and at the bridge, and she stood there like for 45 minutes, she was like, what the fuck should we do? What the fuck can we do about this shit? How the fuck can we make this whole thing still alive if she feels like something isn't right? She lost something, and basically the thing that she lost there and in that time was the love. In Hungarian there is 3 words what we use for love. One of them is like when you love a person with your whole heart and you can't even like think about anyone else. And there is another word for love when it's like, you know, after like 30 years of marriage, they still love each other, but not in the way they loved each other when they were together. And this is a natural thing to lose in a relationship after 1 year or 2 years. But most of the relationship, I didn't even make it through that time, because they're like, I lost all my feelings. And this is what happened to us, by the way. Basically, this is what Fear You is about. This is the story behind it. The second track is called Lone Part 1. Lone Part 1 is a little different, because I had that song before the whole thing, the whole refrain, the chorus, where I'm rapping, I don't need anyone on my side and shit. That is like 3 or 4 years old, so it's like, it was like way before the relationship, and the original version is completely different. I ain't had the part where I'm just rapping, you know, there's million others around me, don't know anything about it. I ain't had that part. Lone Part 1 is about rebellion. It's a more of a mainstream song. It's not that expressional as the others. It's like, I don't know, flexing about, I don't know, let that bitch jump on that, she bounce, you know. But there is that little part where I'm rapping about, I don't need anyone, but I need you, you and me, or you and none, or me and that thing in the heart. That is about like choosing between what's gonna happen to us. So yeah, big shout out to the producers of it. It's a really sick beat. I love the wavy 808s in it and the wavy effects in it. This is like crazy production. Shout out Antonio and Sakura for making the beat. But like, this is all about Lone Part 1, so let's keep on going. The next song is called Yours Forever, and this song is from that time period where I felt like something is good again. Like, everything was in a good place, everything was right, but of course it wasn't. I just pushed the whole thing away. Like, if you looking at the lyrics, almost the whole thing, like the whole chorus is about love, about, I don't know, I love you, I want to be yours forever. And after that, I'm just saying it at the end, but it's all just in my head, because I realize that every day, and I saying it also in the lyrics. And also you can see that how I'm mentioning it, how the things that you're doing breaking me into pieces, and how you just, I don't know, not ignoring me, but like not really caring about me that much as you cared about me back in the days. This is like a really interesting song, by the way, because I didn't even realize that until I released it, that it's not explicit. It doesn't actually have like a swear word or something. The whole song is inspired by Scarlord's Fantasy Void. Shout out to Scarlord, that album is crazy. And Above the Beat, shout out to producers Nigrid and Akari. And Yours Forever is the last song from the first era, where it's about how me and my girl were falling apart in a relationship. So the part where we just had a little break, where we didn't actually fucking talk, of course I searched for her. I was in a low point, I was in a breaking point, and I wanted her, not just attention, but I wanted her love. And this is the first era of Project U. Let's keep on with the second one. So continuing our journey in the Project Q album. The second era is the Breakup era, and the first song of the Breakup era is called Meadow. Now Meadow is the most important track in this whole album because the track was made the same day we broke up with my ex. And I'm gonna be honest, when it was premiering, I was tearing up, and this is crazy because it's been 1 year, but I teared up. I'm not gonna lie, I almost cried, even just because hearing the song and hearing the lyrics. So this is a really important song for me. Meadow's backstory is that after 3 weeks of like little break what we had, she was like, we have to talk. It was in the morning when she said that, and we went to a place what she and her friend group used, like I don't know, base or something. They were like chilling right there, hanging around. I was there with her so many times because it's a really chill place, and we were walking there silently. I was like, what's happening? What you want to talk about? And she ain't said shit, and I knew what's gonna happen. I was just not ready for it. And when she told me that, I'm gonna be honest, as a 20-year-old man who has been many things in his life, I cried. In front of a girl, I cried. And not just that, but I cried for like 1.5 hours. And this is crazy, to be honest. And I know many people think that when a man is crying, that's cringe, but it's not. If you're crying, that's showing that you have emotions. Not just emotions, but you have emotions for the person you're crying about. And being honest, when we were there for like more than 2 hours, but it's crazy. I've had one of the biggest mental breakdowns ever, if not the biggest one. I don't know if it was the biggest one, but it was one of the biggest ones. For sure. I was crying. I was like, nah, this is not real. This is just this ain't happening. What the fuck is happening? One thing you have to know about me is that I put down the fag for like more than a year because she ain't like that. I smoked, and I was like, she doesn't like it, and it's not good for me. And I was like, I grew up from that phase, so I was like, let's just, stop it. And while all of that, she started smoking, and I was like, okay, of course you can do it, but you're just not in front of me, because I was like, I wasn't smoking at that point, anything, and I enjoyed the fresh air and shit. And when she was smoking in front of me and gave me a kiss, I was like, wow. I had the same breath for years, what the fuck? And I smoked more than 10 cigarettes, if I remember right, not just while we were there, but after that. In one day, I smoked 10 cigarettes for the first time in more than 1.5 years. So it's like crazy. And also I was like, no, don't do it. I'm not ready for this shit. I need more time to be ready. But of course I knew it. We can't do that because like that would be bad for her. So like, of course. But I just couldn't realize that it happened. So yeah, and the place where we were was a meadow, and in the middle of this meadow there is like a little, I don't know, it's not a forest because it has like 4 or 5 trees all together. So it's like, I don't know, naturally there 4 or 5 trees just spawned there or some shit, and one of the trees were like struck by a lightning, and it's just, it just leans down. Crazy place, by the way. And meadow is about the feelings what I've had while breaking up. And the reason why I'm saying that in the lyrics, it's been a while, it's been a year, other stuff, when I made it, it wasn't been a year, but I felt like that was a fucking year for me, because how many things I've suffered at once in just 1.5 hours because one thing. And the lyrics video was shot in that place, so that is the place where we broke up. And when I say that I'm standing there and shit, I'm not standing there, of course, I'm not like there since that, but it's just a metaphor for that. I can't let it go what happened there. And also this is the same with like fly. I try to fly but I fall down. And when I say that I'm all alone when you say goodbye, it's about that I ain't really had anyone trustable and like close as her, because like I wasn't talking with anyone because I was like, yeah, I love being in a relationship, I love it. I was with her 24/7 and she enjoyed that, of course. After a while she was like, needed private space, of course. And of course I have friends, but I was like, I don't know, I wasn't as close with them as before. And it's a really bad thing to do, so anyone watching it and being in a relationship, don't throw away your friends in any type of way you feel like you're throwing them away, because it's not good, not just for you but for your friend relationship with you and the relationship with your girl or man. It's not a good thing at all. So yeah, and also I found the beat for meadow at the same day. This is like, by the way, this is like really private stuff, so it's like really crazy to not just talk about it but post it here. But this album is also private, so this is why I share it with you all, because this is a piece of art for my legacy and you all have to know the reason why it is part of my legacy. So like, I'm really sorry for being this open about this whole stuff, but I feel like I have to do it, not just because of the album release but because of me, because it's like way more easier to like let it go. So yeah, back to what I was talking about. I gave her a hug and shit, and after that she was going there, I was going that way. I was just, the first thing that I did, of course, the first thing that I did, of course, was putting on headphones and listening to one music, and this is Hell on Earth by Breakup. This is a really old song and a really underrated one, and there is a line in it, I'll never love anybody again. And I've listened to it over and over and over and over again, and after that I still cried. Like, I cried for hours after that shit. Back then I was living in a college and I was like with my roommates and shit, and I was like sitting there or like laying in my bed with my headphones on. I ain't heard nobody because I was like, man, fuck this shit, and I cried in front of my fucking ass roommates. This is like crazy to see someone crying, especially me who is always happy. I'm always happy, I'm always making jokes, I'm always like 100% energy and shit. And I was like just laying in my bed for days and weeks, and I was crying for hours at that day. And by the way, it really changed me, and that was the turning point of the whole album, to be honest, because after that the next song is What's Mine, and I'm gonna talk about it later. I just want to give a huge shout out to So Pretty Anxiety before moving on, because I was looking for beats like Hell on Earth, and that beat gave me the same feeling. And I don't know, that is like really touching. I don't know how you did it, but it's like, I don't know, I've heard the beat and I was like, this is how I feel. This is, I have to make a track about the whole situation, what happened that day, to this beat. So it's like, thank you, man, thank you so much for making this beat. So yeah, and moving on, we are at the next track called What's Mine. Now, before heading into the title of What's Mine, I want to tell the backstory, because What's Mine was being written the same day when I was meeting my ex for the last time ever. Like, for real, meeting her, not just seeing her, but like talking to each other. And this was a whole flip in my whole mindset, because at that point I was like, I ain't talked to anyone since days. I was like just sitting in the classroom and was like, but I'm being fucking honest, at 19 years old, this shit pushed me this deep, and this is crazy. The whole situation was, there is a little playground, and that's like really close to the meadow where we broke up, and we met there. And she was like worried about me, and I could see that, but I couldn't give a flying fuck, because the way I wasn't just feeling depressed, I felt sad and disappointing hate in me. I don't know if there's a word for it. That's the best way to express it with words. It's like, imagine hating somebody because the way how depressed you are. And she was like sitting down in a swing, and she was like there for the whole meeting, what was like, I don't know, 45 minutes. and I was just standing in front of her with my eyes like this because I was tired. I couldn't even sleep and I was high all the fucking time. I fucked myself up, I fucked my whole mental up, I fucked my whole physical self up, and we talked about it. Of course, she asked stuff and she was like, how you feeling mentally? And I was like, nothing. I just stared at her and like, I don't feel shit, I'm gonna be honest, because I ain't feel shit, just the hate, because the way how I'm depressed because someone, and I was not angry, it was more like melancholic. And she asked me if my whole consciousness is like healing or some shit, you know, like am I better? But I was like, nah, fuck nah, I'm not better, and I'm not joking, I'm not trying to like being a pussy, I'm not better, I'm honest. And I was completely honest in the whole conversation and really quiet. I wasn't talking because that was like one of the first times I really talked to a person in 2 weeks, and I ain't said a fucking word more than 2 or like a pretty short sentence. And back to it, she was asking me how I'm feeling, and I was like, no, I'm not better. Even if it's been 2 weeks, I'm not better. And she was asking me, and what about you, like physically, you smoking? I was like, yes, I smoke again. She was like, are you drinking something? And you know, she was asking like, do I use any substances? And I was like, she asked me all this shit and I wasn't saying nothing. And at the end of it, when she said every kind of substance that I've used, I was like, yeah, I'm doing all of that and I'm fucking myself up, because the only way I can be happy is that short time period that I'm using this stuff, and my light's flickering. Why the fuck my light is flickering? And then when I said it, she was like, this is not good for you, this is like destroying your whole health. And I was like, I know, but I can't do anything else because I alone, and I love to be alone, and I love to fuck myself up. I was drinking so fucking much, I was using so many substances that you can't even imagine. I'm honest with you. Like, I woke up, I drink. After finishing school, sometimes I was even high as crap. After I finished school, I was smoking and I don't know, meds and shit. I was even like trying new things. But yeah, and she was like, wanted to talk about this shit because she saw that I answer to these questions because I wanted help. I wanted something to grab on and like push it and like grabbing me up from the place where I was. And yeah, and she was like, it's not a bad thing. And she started to talk about it and she was like, my psychologist said that even if you are sad, keep your physical hand and your consciousness, your mind, the way you're thinking in the same level, because it fucks up. If something is lower than the other one, it fucks up your whole health. And she was like, everything will be fine if you do it. And when she said this little thing, everything will be fine, I was thinking 100,000 stuff together. And what's mind is about this, because the thing I answered to her is, what's mind? For real, I asked her this, what the fuck is mind? She was like quiet, she ain't even knew what to answer to this shit. So if you look at what's mind is like, I don't have a mind when I wrote that shit, I don't have a consciousness. This is why mind is in a quote. And also you can hear an AI voice in a woman voice saying the same thing she said. And I was like, after in the track after she said that, I was laughing because in real life I was like you know. So this is what's mine about. And the crazy stuff about what's mine is the little like quote what I pasted into the end of the song from Tokyo Ghoul. That's like Kaneki and Riza talking to each other when Kaneki is being tortured. And the reason why I put it there is because it's a 2 minute or like a 1 or 2 minutes long short quote, like conversation, and in the middle of it the whole thing changes from blaming someone else to blaming everything together. And I felt the same. The relationship of Kaneki and Riza is that Kaneki was 100% in love with this girl who was a ghoul when Kaneki wasn't a ghoul, at the start of it. they both died in the same day, and Kaneki could survive, so the doctors put Visa's like stuff from her, I don't want to say it on YouTube, into Kaneki. And because of that, he became a ghoul, and Visa was like haunting her. Even if she betrayed Kaneki and Kaneki was broken, she betrayed her. She was always there. He saw Visa every time. So it's like a really good metaphor to me and my ex, how I felt. And if you listening to it on Spotify and shit, you can hear that the whole quote transitions to each other with the next song from the album called Black Leaves. Now Black Leaves is a little bit different than the other tracks from the album because Black Leaves was made 4 years ago at that point. 4 years ago. That is one of my first songs ever. And all I've had was like the chorus where like Black Leaves, Black Heart, Black Leaves, Black, and I still feel in the chord, how you kiss me to the moon, was not in the original. It was like just that little line from my phone's notebook, and I found it like randomly. And Black Leaves is about the way I feel at that time when I wrote it. It wasn't like a main part of the whole era. It was like just a everyday moment right there where I felt broken, and I wanted to comprehend, I wanted to like move on, but I couldn't because she was in my head, like Visa in Kaneki's head. And if you look at the quotes in What's Mine, Kaneki blames Visa, and in Black Leaves the same conversation continuing, Kaneki was blaming the whole word, and this is what Black Leaves is about. Because I was hating everybody. I hated everybody. And by the way, a really big appreciation for Shay for making these two beats. Those beats were perfect for me at that time to express how I felt. Because it's like eerie and scary and so filled with hatred and shit. How the guitar riffs are working. So I was like letting out all my anger in those two beats. And I think Black Leaves is a really great transition from that era to the last era of the album. And yeah, this is the end of the Breakup era, and the next era is called Regret, and the first track is Lone Part 2. Now, when I did the song, I knew that it's gonna be Lone Part 2, but I firstly saw that it's gonna be Lone Part 1 in the titles, and I'm gonna put the original Lone Part 1 where you see as Lone Part 2, so Lone Part 2 is gonna be above Lone Part 1, because in Lone Part 2, what I released as Lone Part 2, I have more expressions about being alone than in the other one. But after that, I was like, let's just keep it like that, because like chronological shit. So Lone Part 2 is about the time where I was like just giving it up, like 100% give it up, and just accepting my fate, that I'm alone and this is it. And of course you can hear that I wasn't through all of that shit, for I don't know, I was blaming myself at that point. At that point of time when I made Lone Part 2 and the other tracks from the album, I wasn't talking to her anymore. So it's like just me being alone, closed up with myself and no one else in a bubble. Of course, when I made Lone Part 2, I was talking to people more frequently than when I made What's Mine and Meadow and Black Leaves, because it's like a little bit of a jump, because there were like 3 weeks between Black Leaves and Lone Part 2, but I wasn't talking to them like I used to before. The whole thing, the whole breakup just changed me so bad. I have the effects for it until this day. And this is crazy, to be honest. At 20 years old, I still have the effects about a breakup, what happened a year ago, and I think I will have the effects for it even like forever, because like, I don't know, maybe it has to be like that. So Lone Part 2 is basically about me completely being alone with myself. I had no love. My heart was completely in pieces, and even if I was more stable mentally, it was fucked up. I'm honest, it was fucked up, the whole thing. And the little reminder, we are almost 3 months away from the breakup, so it's like not that long period of time, but I was in the same state after 2 months, the same fucking ass state. This is crazy. So yeah, this is Lone Part 2. Shout out Lycan and Flows and Flow for the beat. I really love the little like sample used in it. It grabbed me so good. Endo bass also. The whole track is like a little grabbing you back to the era of Feel You and Lone Part 1, because if you think about it, it's like a continuing of Lone Part 1, the Lone series, and that beat is also Destroy Lonely type, and this is also Destroy Lonely type, and I really love the little switch to meadow at the end, and I was using it to prepare the audience to the next track from the album. And the next track from the album is called No One Else. No One Else is probably one of the hardest and the saddest songs I've ever done, because when I recorded that song, I recorded it for more than an hour because I was crying. While recording it, I was crying because then I wasn't alone. I was alone, but I just felt loneliness or brokenness or something like that. I felt lost, completely lost. I didn't know what I will be after this relationship, because of course I had a personality every time. For in the last 1.5 years, from that point where I made that song, I was in a relationship and I've changed so much because I grew up, and my whole personality was based around the relationship. Even if it's not, it's based around the relationship, because you are in a relationship where your mindset is going up. So you can't actually push away the fact that your whole personality is being around a relationship. So after the end of the relationship, I was lost about my own self. I didn't know what is my mindset, how I will live my life, how I will react things. I was really unstable at that point. And No One Else is made on the first day where I woke up and felt like I'm getting through it. I'm letting it go. That was the first day when I felt like that. You know, I was like, okay, let's just go to school and shit. I was in school and she was in school, of course. And I walked through her to the toilet and shit. And she was coming like in front of me. Like we were past each other. The minute I saw her, I noticed saw her walk past each other, I was like, fuck, nah, it's still not it. It's still not the time. So I had to grieve more. And when I walked past her, I had so many thoughts in my mind. Not just that, like I can't let her go, but many thoughts that is like in No One Else. Talking about it. So basically No One Else is about the thoughts I felt after realizing that I'm still not in the state of being available of letting her go. After 3 months or 4, the process still ain't started, and this is about that. This is the most emotional one, because if you listen to my voice, you can hear that I'm choking in my tears, because I wanted to not cry, but I was crying hard. I was crying when I made that song. In the release version, I also cried, and it's crazy to like imagine that, to be in my opinion. And this is a really hard song, and when I said that, the hardest song on the album is What's Mine and Black Leaves Together. No One Else, of course, it's harder, or What's Mine is harder in my opinion than No One Else, because No One Else is more like raging in sadness, raging in depression, while What's Mine is about being hatred, fulfilled with hatred. So yeah, this is about No One Else. Also, shout out, I can't actually pronounce his name or her name, but it's Slatko Dunul, or I don't even know. But shout out you, because you made the most depressive beat on the whole album, in my opinion. This is like completely raging in depression. So big shout out to you. I love your shit. I follow you since a while, by the way. And yeah, this is No One Else, and now we are at the last part of the album, the last song, what is called Dead Inside. Dead Inside is like, it's grew on me the most, because every time I made a song to this album, the last one that I made was like the most liked one by me, you know, because like that is like my recent feelings. So Dead Inside is about how I feel now, right now, and also how I reflect to the past of what happened in this like half a year. So basically the reason why Dead Inside is called Dead Inside is that her IG name was Dead Inside when I talked with her, and it's not it. Since then she changed it. I don't know why, but she changed it. But when I talked to her for the first time, it was Dead Inside. Dead Inside is like a confession. It's really hard to let go things that are like stick to you since a while, but you have to. And this is the main conclusion. And the reason why I'm talking in some parts, like by any chance, if you're wondering why I'm here, why I'm doing all of this shit, who is it all for, and who I did all the things I did for, I just want to let you know that it's you. So when I made this song, I wanted to call it simply You Outro. And also at the end, I was, what was I talking about? Sometimes I still missing you and shit. Sometimes I don't know where my head is, and all I can think about is you. But I just want to let you know that you are the best. And this is a really, really hard sentence, not just to say out loud, but to realize. And this song is about that, to realize and let go. Because of course I let her go. Of course I'm through with it. And this is what's Dead Inside about. Dead Inside is a crazy track. I'm gonna be honest, you can rap on it, you can sing it, you can mix both as the release version. By the way, I'm really sorry for the release version being a really low quality. I tried to change the audio, but I couldn't. But yeah, and the main reason why Dead Inside is so versatile is because the beat. And Akari again and Ezra, you made a masterpiece, not just for yourself, to your legacy, but for people who want to express their feelings in many ways altogether. So thank you so much for making this beat. I really love your music. Keep going, man. Both of you, keep it going. The bass hit. I remember that when I made the song, the bass just hit me the first time. I was just like sitting like this. I was like, what the fuck? I can't even express it in words. I'm completely honest. And at the end of the album, I have a little quote where I'm talking about that you have to let go, even if you are still attached to it, because the thing that you can't let go is the past. And after that, I'm saying code as like my main ad-lib nowadays, and the main tag of the album, what is the U ad-lib. The reason why I put code in there is because if I wasn't called W, this whole album, it wouldn't happen. So yeah, and U is because if you think about it, even if you let her go, let something go, it's still attached to you in a way that it changed your whole life in a way. So you have some things from that relationship that you learned while all of that. So it's like a really interesting journey to talk about. And I'm not just talking about the timeline of Project Q, but the timeline of that part of my life where I was with this girl. And yeah, basically this is what's Project Q about. Basically this is it. Before going to the next segment of the video, I want to thank all of the people that had me through by making this project, by being in this deep state of mind and shit. And I want to thank to all of my close people, my close friends. And even if you're not that close but you have me with like some words like you will be okay, thank you so much. I actually want to say a thank you to the girl who is this about, and it's because that firstly, if we wouldn't broke up, it wasn't just exist, and secondly, because the things that I've learned while our journey, while our relationship, and yeah, Project U is out in every platform, Spotify, YouTube Music, if you're American, Pandora, or even Tidal, everywhere. And I want to transit this part of the video to the other part, because now I'm gonna talk about what's gonna happen in the future, what after now. Firstly, I'm pretty sure that you all want music videos to Project U. I'm planning to do a music video for What's Mine and Black Leaves all together, in both a little bit different visual style, but all together a whole like project in a project. So yeah, I plan to do a music video for that, and also I ain't decided yet. I think I will let you all decide if you want a music video for Yours Forever Alone Part 2. It's gonna be more like the promo video for Yours Forever on my IG and TikTok. It's gonna be in my room, just vibe into it. This is about Project U, but now I'm gonna talk about what I will release, because I have an era what has been in the works since years, 2 or 3 years, and it has 3 versions, and I plan to release all of them in different ways. If you follow my discography, you saw that before Project U, I dropped 2 songs called Erupted Corrupted and Caution.exe, and basically that 2 songs are part of a bigger project called Hate, and Hate is gonna be my next era after Project U is done. Hate has 3 albums done, 3, and I love all of those songs. Basically, Hate is about that, how I feel about the whole music industry and rap fanbase not being experimental and versatile. And in these albums, I want to show that even if you are different than the others and you don't use rage beats and auto-tune, you can do whatever you want. And even if they're gonna hate on it and you love it, this is a good song. Because if they ain't listening to it because they hate it, because it's different, that doesn't mean that it's a bad song. You just didn't find the right audience for it, because you can't really be a big artist nowadays if you don't do the same shit what other people doing. And the way I realized it is that I sent one of my songs from this album to a TikTok live stream where someone is reacting to music and in live, and he gives his honest opinion, and he was like, it's good, it's a good song, I wouldn't listen to it, but it's a good song, so it's a good like vision, and it's a normal fucking review of my shit. But the comment section was like, what the fuck is this, it's demonic, it's a piece of shit, it's a dog shit, it's bullshit. And I was like, why the fuck are you hating this much because someone is different? And why the fuck is saying to a music that has been in the works since so long it's bad, when it's not bad, it's just different? And it's crazy, like, let's just keep it in 2018 because X died in 2018. Are you out of your dumb ass mind? I'm here to not just keep a legacy for this shit, but I'm here to push the boundaries of that shit, to make it more known and make it higher and bigger and more widely open to other genres and blend it together. And this is what Hate is about. Hate had 3 eras of doing. The first era is really similar to Pit Deluxe, but why Pit Deluxe is really dark and really like deep as shit in lyrics and in aesthetics, Hate is rage, complete rage in the Pit Deluxe style. It's really energetic. The whole shit has so many like songs where you are just like, what the fuck? So yeah, this is the first era of Hate. The second era of Hate is pure meadow, and not just like meadow what I did in caution.exe and it erupted corrupted, because it's like more trap metal based, but I will have every kind of metal. I mean, I will have metal mixed with dubstep, and I will have even death metal in it, and it's not finished yet, so it's Hate V2. I don't know when I will release it, but basically this is Hate V2 complete metal. I never did metal, and this is like fucking crazy to do it. I love to do metal, to be honest. I just can't really like perform it, to be honest, because I'm out of breath every fucking time. And the third era of Hate is unfinished, like 0% done, but I have the beats for it and I have the aesthetic for it, and it's gonna be more mainstream. But imagine that you're listening to mainstream music but you're listening to Ghost main or something like that, like really like two completely different things together blending into one thing. Basically fuck the modern industry, because it's not good in the way it is right now, because everyone is pushing away everything that is new, and like, I don't know, everyone is listening to one artist who is like mainstream, and if you hear an underground music you're like, oh, I don't want to listen to it because it's not, I don't know, Travis Scott or Drake or some shit, and this is not good for the industry, and even they who you listen to know that it's not a good thing. Maybe they just don't talk about it or don't care about it because they get money, they get bands. It's different for every artist, of course. And yeah, this is Hate V3, and I plan to release all eras differently. I want to release Hate V1 in EPs. I don't know, it's like 13 tracks long, and I will have a 2 or 3 tracks long EP every 2 or 3 weeks, or something like that, like transitioning into each other, like what Scholar did, for example, with his EP stuff. I want to release Hate V2 in singles. I already have 2 of them out. In my opinion, Hate V2 will be better in singles, because there is like so many things in the album, in the metal genre, with subgenres blended together. I can promote them like one by one in different ways. So it's like, if I will release a dubstep song, I can promote just the dubstep song to a dubstep playlist or some shit like that. But if I release a death metal song, I can like put it to Spotify, like it's just death metal, you know what I'm saying, and add it to just that metal playlist. And I want to release Hate V3 as a final full-length album, and I think I will have a Spotify playlist for the whole era, and separately, of course. Also, I want to release an album with Darkest Reaper, and also I have 3 albums on the way, if you don't talk about the Hate project. And I want to release a futuristic EP with mainstream sounds, but more experimental mainstream sounds. So like, imagine, I don't know, Yeet, but way more experimental than 2093. Like imagine Yeet, Playboy Cardi, Dictionary type songs together with my experimental type beats and shit, and the whole aesthetic around it is gonna be a TikTok meme. That's all I'm gonna say. A TikTok meme that is like 1 or 2 years old, and it was crazy back in the days. What else? I also plan to release an EP with Jack Blade. We already have some songs together, and I want to release them. I wanted to release them back in 2024, but I felt like it deserves a bigger audience, so I'm just pushing it because I wanted to have more audience. But it's a fucking crazy EP, to be honest. So yeah, this is all what's gonna happen. I still gonna roll out some stuff about Project U. I still gonna be active about it, and also I will have a show in Budapest in August 1st in a place called Rund Akrinkum. You can search it up. It's not a big place, not a big stage. It's really like minimalistic. It's like a coffee shop or some shit. But imagine that there will be like many artists together, just rage stuff, trap metal, dark trap, dubstep, techno, EDM, drum and bass, other stuff. In that place, it's gonna be, I don't know, really like contrasting and crazy. So yeah, this month was wild, to be honest. I released caution.exe in this summer. I released Erupted Corrupted this summer. I released Project U. This summer I released Sludge with Darkest Reaper. That's my first auto-tune rap song, rage song. So check that out if you like that shit. I also released a song in SoundCloud with Half Eva with me featuring in it called Blow Up the C4 or C4. I think I will release it myself in distribution platforms with a little better mixing, of course. And I also have many way more projects. I have so many stuff until like 2027 or some shit. So be ready. I also plan to drop a super trap album, a techno album, an EDM album, a dubstep album. So many stuff, man. And you still don't listen to my shit when I'm this fucking active with this fucking versatility. What the fuck is wrong with you? And also in this summer, after this all what I just said, I will have a show and I will release a whole version of an era. So it's like, damn, this is crazy to think about it. And the crazy part is I can't run out of songs because, I don't know, I love making music. Even if I have like 300 or 400 plus in my hard drive, I'm still doing that shit. Because like, this is why I'm doing this shit. Grind, grind, grind. Don't ever stop this shit. So yeah, after this whole hour of yapping, if it's gonna be an hour long, I don't know yet. But I talked to a fucking camera for more than 2 hours. I don't know how long the video is gonna be then. But yeah, check my other stuff out. Check out this YouTube channel, of course. Check my music out. Check out the other videos that I released in this YouTube channel, because there's gonna be way more crazy stuff. I'm gonna have some cooks while making music. I'm gonna have vlogs about the show. I think I will have a whole video about the whole show, just seeing me performing while all these people sitting and drinking their fucking ass coffee is gonna be good. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much for listening and watching this shit. I hope I could give you a much bigger picture about what Project U for me is, and I hope that Project U is something for you too, because when an artist makes something, he makes something for the people with inspiration from his own stories and emotions, and I hope that you can bring something with yourself after listening to those songs, and I hope that you will find the meaning for Project U also. And thank you so much for all the support lately. Thank you so much for streaming Project U. Thank you so much for streaming any of my songs, like any, even if it has 20 streams together. Thank you so much. I love you all guys so much. Thank you so much for making my dream becoming a bigger thing in this whole like music industry. So yeah, all love to you guys, and I don't even fucking know what else to say. Peace out, baby.
Yeah. Look at the stars tonight, there's million other to choose from. Billions could collide me money, but none of that you know. Look at my fist, my knees, my best, I turn into rage mode. Million punch bars, but I cannot find my pistol.